Good morning. Welcome to Grand River Unitarian Congregation. We gather with gratitude this morning on Haudenosaunee Confederacy treaty land. A treaty is an inheritance, a responsibility, and a relationship. As we speak today about renovations, projects, and planning for the future, may we remember to be good neighbors to one another, good stewards to our planet, and good ancestors to all of our children. Welcome to this morning, this day, and this opportunity to be together in community, which is a time of joy, comfort, and sometimes challenges. This Unitarian Universalist congregation is a place where we come to learn more about being human. We're not here because we figured out life's questions or because we think we've got it right. We come here to learn more about being in relationship together, how to listen, how to forgive, how to be vulnerable, and how to create trust and compassion in one another. My name is Becky Verdun, and I first attended Grand River Unitarian in the fall of 2012. I had recently graduated from university, and I was looking for a community where my values and questions would belong. I grew up very involved in the Baptist church, playing piano, teaching kids programs, leading youth group, the whole shebang. In university, I was actively involved with InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. I was teaching Bible studies, and I was on the leadership team. Throughout these years, I really appreciated having a community of people to think about life's big questions and support each other through the good and bad. But over time, I discovered that I was asking questions that weren't really welcome, and my values and beliefs didn't fit with them anymore. I realized I was an atheist around graduation, and it took me some time to figure out what that would mean for me, since so much of my identity had been wrapped up in being a good Christian. I found that coming to GRU on Sunday mornings was the first time in years that I felt like I might belong in a church again, and I could ask my questions without fear of judgment or ostracization. At first, I was a casual attendee and probably attended pub nights more than Sunday schools, especially when I was in grad school. But I gradually began to recognize this as a place that I wanted to participate in more actively and contribute to intentionally. Over the years, I've been involved with social action events, kids programs, lots and lots and lots of music, and now as the vice president of the board. Usually, you will see me behind the piano, and to be honest, I am far, far more comfortable over there than speaking from the front. And in fact, I was telling people this is, I think, the first time in 13 years that I've ever stood here, so here we are. But today I am here because I want to invite each and every one of you to stay for coffee, tea, and Timbits after the service, and to join our future forum conversation about our vision for the future of this building. If you are on our email newsletter list, you would have received an email on Thursday with a link to a congregational consultation document, and we also have printed copies available. This is an open forum for all GRU attendees to provide feedback on several potential building projects. Some of you may remember that in 2020, the congregation had planned to replace all of these pews with chairs, and then in 2021, we were going to start work on a kitchen renovation. There's also been conversation about air conditioning downstairs so that we could be more comfortable hosting programming in the warm months. As we all know what happened in 2020, the COVID pandemic put a hold on all of these projects and many other things. The board is now looking to revisit these projects, and as a community that values the democratic process, we want to hear your thoughts, your questions, and priorities. So please join us after the service to chat about all of these things. Now, we have a number of announcements. The first one up is Corliss.
Good morning. Have you been wondering what the Defending Democracy Steering Committee's been up to? Yes. Well, so were we. So we did some stock taking, and we were actually quite pleasantly surprised. Considering that we were ready to take on the world, defend democracy, or just do something because of the various crises taking place, we had no idea what that would mean, much less how to go about it. And considering all that, we've actually accomplished quite a lot. We surprised ourselves with our assessment. So we'd like to share that with you. So next Sunday after the service, join us downstairs, grab your soup, it's a Super Sunday, and come and hear how we've evolved in our understanding of the need to defend democracy, what we can do, and what we have been doing. Hear about the evolution of our goals and our plans for the future. There'll be time for question and answer. Don't ask me how we're going to do it all, but we will. And you just might see better how you fit into the picture. Probably more ways than you imagined, just as we discovered that we had done a lot more than we thought we did. So we're putting wheels under this bus, and it's traveling at high speed. It says there are many ways to be involved, considering there's the big picture. But I saw a quote from a children's book just this week, and it said, "Yes, little ones, you stir a revolution by caring for each and all." So there's room for all of us in this resistance, which deals with the big picture and the hard issues. So come listen and share and discuss with us next week where we're going. Thanks.
Thank you, Corliss. And next up we have Doug Moen.
Hello. Next Saturday, that's just 6 days from now, Making Space for Spirituality is having a special spiritual event right here in the sanctuary. It's called In Conscious Dance, facilitated by Rosemary. It's an embodied spiritual practice for those who enjoy movement and music and moving authentically in the present moment. It's like movement meditation. So it's Saturday evening, 7 p.m. in the sanctuary. So the doors will open at 7. The doors will close at 7:25. So there will be no interruptions after that. We'll have an opening circle, then a guided warm-up, and then there's a curated playlist, music for about 45 minutes, during which you will move as you feel moved. We'll finish off. Rosemary will do a sound bath and a closing circle. It'll be done about 8:45, and this is a scent-free event. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Next up we have Jessica Bain.
Good morning, everyone. Last night we held our Dream Auction live auction event, and thanks to everyone who came out. It was a great time. During our live auction, we actually raised over $900 towards this event, so a big round of applause for that. Now, for folks who weren't able to make it out, there are still online options available, and those will be open until next Sunday, November 30th. Ida Fisher's got her puppets that are up for auction, so if you want to check those out, you can speak with Ida after the service. And there are lots of different events still that have spaces, so be sure to check that out. We also have a couple of things downstairs that are available. So we've got Jamie Wilson's Big Pappy Dry Rub for sale, so it's a lovely, fragrant mix of spices that you can put on your meat, or your tofu, I suppose. Those are $5 a bag. We also have our blind date with a book. There are a number of books still left, and those are $10 per book. And if you go for either of those options, just write down on the paper your name, your email address, and how many you took, and those will be added to your invoice, which will be produced after November 30th once the auction closes. We also have one silent auction item downstairs, which is a lovely 24-karat gold-plated menorah, so that's open for bidding today. All right, any questions, come see me.
Thank you. And one final announcement from Ann Dahmer.
Good morning. Is this on? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I have two quick announcements. Next Sunday is a Super Sunday, and so for those of you who are newer to our congregation, a Super Sunday is hosted by our youth group, our whatevers. So right after the service, you can meet downstairs if you're interested, and if you're hungry, come and have a warm bowl of soup and a slice of pie for $6. The youth will serve you and clean up after, so all you get to do is eat and enjoy some community. You can stay afterwards for some of the conversations that we've heard about as well. And also, if you would like to help our youth, who are not great cooks, we would love if people would donate some soup. It can be homemade, but it could be store-bought also. But if you would put it in a crock pot or in a pot that we can keep heating on the stove, we'll tend to your soup during service. and then have them all out ready for people to choose from afterwards. So we would appreciate if you came. The money that we raise goes to Canoodle, which is our youth congregational meeting that happens once a year. It's really important for the young people because we have so many small congregations around the country. There are not a lot of chances for youth to meet one another, and Canoodle is a whole weekend of young people getting to hang out together, sharing values, and all of the great, quirky, secret things that happen during youth group. They get to really enjoy that together. We've heard that we've heard a rumor that the Canoodle will be in Vancouver next year, so we will need a fair little bit of money to get us there. So stay tuned for more supers. And the second thing I want to remind you of is about the past event in support of the Waterloo Region Food Bank. Thank you very much for the generous donations already. We have a few more boxes, so don't be afraid to fill them. Just a few statistics. 1 in 9 households in the community are suffering from some food insecurity. 11%, there's been an 11% increase in the visits to the food bank in the last year, and the food bank predicts that will continue to grow. It won't get smaller. More than 30% of people who access food from the food bank are children through food programs at school and also hamper programs and community meals. And if you donate to the food bank, you're donating to more than 60 meal programs and other ways of distributing food in the community. Even things creatively like the mobile food van that drives around to communities where people don't have access to a lot of public transportation. They bring a market to folks, and they can get dry goods and fresh fruit and vegetables at a community center that's nearby. They also offer a lot of support to the community meal programs that we see at churches and places like A Better Tent City. So your donations go really far. And we've chosen pasta because it's always on their list of things that the food bank is always in need of. It's shelf stable, so it lasts a long time in someone's home. You don't have to use the whole package in one go, so it can be spread out over several meals. Kids like it, which is a real blessing for families who are trying to get kids to eat. And it's also familiar to so many cultures, so people know how to use it in their own home recipes. They don't get a box of stuff they don't know what to do with, so it goes a long way. So thank you very much for that. And I just wanted to share, I brought a box of alphabet macaroni today because it's connected to one of my very favorite memories at my home church where I grew up, St. Paul's Lutheran in Cambridge. Vacation Bible School is a big deal, and I went for a long time when I was a kid. Some of you may have gone also with mixed results, but this year was very fun. I was about 10. All the kids in my group were kids I went to Sunday school with who were also friends from school, and my best friend Lisa, somehow we convinced her mother that she should come with us. So we were all there hanging out together. And our job as the big kids was to create individual banners on burlap of the Lord's Prayer spelled out in macaroni noodles. This was our job. And they're tiny. You can't even see them on the box here. They're tiny. So all was well until about midway through the second day. We ran out of the letter Y. There are a lot of Y's in the Lord's Prayer. There's a lot of thys. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread. Lots of Y's. So we had to get creative. We put V's and I's together. We tipped T's on their sides. We broke the legs off X's. The other thing we were doing was we were learning about what life would have been like in the time of Jesus. So we were being fed a lot of dates and feta cheese. So we were really happy. We never completed them, and the burlap was really mostly just a solid brick of Elmer's white glue with a few macaronis on them. But it's tied to a very joyful memory at church, so I'm hoping that a family will have as much fun with these when they get them in.
Thank you, Anne. Sorry, shouldn't do that. Meg Barnhouse says, "We gather to worship, our hearts alive with hope that here we will be truly seen, that here we will be welcomed into the garden of this community where the simple and the elegant, the fluted and the frilled, the shy and the dramatic complement one another and are treasured. May we know that here, each contributes in their way to the beauty of the whole. Come, let us worship together, all genders, sexualities, politics, clappers and non-clappers, progressive or conservative. May we root ourselves in the values of this faith: compassion and courage, transcendence, justice, and transformation." Please rise in body or in spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 212 in the gray hymnal, "We Are Dancing Sarah's Circle." The words are in your order of service.
Emily Richards writes, "Some stories begin once upon a time or long, long ago, but other stories begin here and now. Those stories don't always have a clear direction. Sometimes they don't even have a clear beginning. What they do have is possibility. Those are stories still in the making, stories that have yet to be fully written, stories with the potential to create change for good or ill. We won't know how the story ends until we get there, but we can decide what words we use to write those stories. Words like hope, kindness, gratitude, peace, courage, perseverance, joy, and love. Above all else, love. Let this flame be to us a symbol of the wholeness we seek. Its glow reminding us of the sacred bonds which link us to all people.
Join me in song.
Sing along. And now, people of all ages are welcome to come forward for a special story with Pia.
Bedelia Makes a Friend by Herman Parrish, pictures by Lane Avril. Amelia Bedelia was lucky. Her best friend lived next door. "Hello, Jen," said Amelia Bedelia. "Hi, Amelia Bedelia," said Jen. Amelia Bedelia and Jen have been friends since they were babies. They baked together, they dressed up together, they played music together. Amelia Bedelia even showed Jen how to bowl. "They play so well together," said Amelia Bedelia's mother. "They sure do," said Jen's mother, "even though they are as different as night and day." Then one day, Jen and her parents moved away. Amelia Bedelia and her parents are very sad. Amelia Bedelia missed Jen. She missed Jen every day. She wished Jen would come back. One morning, a moving van pulled up. Did Jen come back? Asked Amelia Bedelia. I don't think so, said Amelia Bedelia's mother. We must have new neighbors. Amelia Bedelia's mother watched the movies. Oh, look, she said. I see a fancy footstool. Amelia Bedelia did not look. She wanted Jen back. Look, said Amelia Bedelia's mother. I see a coffee table. Amelia Bedelia still did not look. She kept drawing. Amelia Bedelia's mother said, I see some big armchairs. I see a love seat. I see a twin bed. Finally, Amelia Bedelia looked at Jen's old house. She looked at her drawings. Our new neighbors sound strange, she said. That night, Amelia Bedelia told her dad about the new neighbors. He loved her pictures. Amazing, her dad said. I hope they have a pool table. The next morning, Amelia Bedelia and her mother baked blueberry muffins. They took the muffins next door. A lady opened the door. Hello there, she said. My name is Miss Adams. You must be my new neighbors. No, said Amelia Bedelia. We already live here. You are my new neighbors. You know, I think both of us are right. Do come in. Miss Adams said. What's so good? What smells so good? My mom does, Amelia Bedelia said. I don't wear perfume yet. Jen's house looked different. Every room was full of boxes. Welcome to my mess, said Miss Adams. I will live out of boxes for a while. That sounded fun to me, Amelia Bedelia. Are the twins in their bed? Asked Amelia Bedelia. My goodness, said Miss Adams. You have sharp eyes. Amelia Bedelia hoped that was good. My twin grandchildren are visiting today, said Miss Adams. Their names are Mary and Marty. The twins visited that afternoon. Our grandma is a lot of fun, they told Amelia Bedelia. They were right. It was great to have a friend right next door again. Amelia Bedelia and Miss Adams baked together, they dressed up together, they played music together. They have so much fun together, said Amelia Bedelia's father. They sure do, said Amelia Bedelia's mother, even though they are as different as night and day. One day, Jen came back to visit. Miss Adams took both girls to a real bowling alley. This is the best day ever, said Amelia Bedelia. I have a best old friend, I have a best new friend. We are three best friends together. The end.
our weekly offering is not just for the support of the building itself, but the building of community within these walls and beyond its windows. How we spend our money is a reflection on what we hold to be important. When we sustain our church, we sustain our deepest values together. One of these values is hospitality. So if you are a visitor to this church today, we invite you to let the basket pass. Your presence here is gift enough. I give because I want this congregation to continue thriving for years and years into the future, for all those who have big questions and ideas and are looking for a community where they will be welcomed. We recognize that people contribute to this community in many ways and not always on Sundays. Many among us donate through pre-authorized donations and e-transfers and by sharing time and talent with this community. As you pass the plate, take a moment to reflect on these many contributions beyond the plate. Thank you for your generous support of this community.
Eileen Carpellis writes, out of wood and stone, out of dreams and sacrifice, the people build a home. Out of the work of their hands and hearts and minds, the people fashion a symbol and a reality. May this house be truly a place of meeting one another in warmth and joy and openness, meeting one with another in courage and love and trust. You're invited to light a candle in silence, or if there is something that you wish to hold up from your personal life for communal support, come to the microphone, let us know who you are and how we might help you in your journeys today. I'm going to ask for two candles. Our first candle is for crew member Bay Miller. I have learned that Bay has been moved to Freeport to continue her long journey of recovery from pneumonia. And a second candle, this is one of gratitude for our Dream Auction team, Jessica and Ryan, and for Andrea and Tom. Andrea and Tom have announced their retirement from this role after many, many years of leading this treasured annual event. So thank you to you all.
I got up early and got to see the first weekend train leave GO train station today at 7:50. So 2 trains going there, 2 trains coming back Saturday, Sunday. Woohoo! Thanks to everybody who pitched in on the advocacy.
My best friend is celebrating a birthday today. And Ian is starting his 7th decade on this planet, and I'm so grateful.
Hey everyone, it's Erin. I'm celebrating that I finished my OWL training yesterday, and it was such a joy. I'm so grateful for the congregation and the opportunity.
Thank you, Erin.
Hey, good morning. It's Jessica of Jessica and Ryan and the Dream Auction Committee. Wanted to confirm that we aren't retiring, but we are looking for new people. And so if you're interested in how we can reimagine our Dream Auction, please reach out.
Hi everybody, my name is Allison, and it's not every day that we get to celebrate a clear policy win for inclusion and equality. But this week, Parliament passed a historic reform to our Citizenship Act, restoring citizenship rights to hundreds of thousands of children born since 2009 to Canadians living abroad. This congregation played a small part in that. I missed service last weekend because I was driving to Ottawa with my daughters. I got to appear before the Senate committee to show our leadership some of the faces of the children who've been impacted by the unconstitutional first-generation limit on citizenship by descent. And members of our Voices group have written letters encouraging our leaders to pass Bill C-3. And on Thursday, this bill received royal assent and is now the law of the land. Yep. The last thing I'll mention is that this is an important lifeline for the estimated 250,000 children born in the U.S. alone since 2009 to Canadian parents who can now be recognized as Canadian. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Serena. I'm lighting a candle of joy today. We're very happy to have our friend Naomi and her son Matthew join us today. And we're also celebrating this week Pascal's 6th birthday. So that's my oldest child, just turned 6.
Let's take a moment and let all of that sink in. We'll light a final candle for all those joys and sorrows here unspoken, but precious in our hearts. Good news feels so precious, doesn't it? Please join me in singing our pastoral hymn, Spirit of Life. Our meditation words are by my colleague, Peter Rabel. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves by fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. This is as it should be. Together, we are more than any one person could be. Together, we can build across the generations. Together, we can renew our hope and faith in the life that is yet to unfold. Together, we can heed the call to a ministry of care and justice. We are ever bound in community. May it always be so. In the beginning, there was Bob. Bob Whitten was one of the founding members of this congregation, and in many ways, the reason this congregation exists at all. Bob earned his nickname, Mr. Unitarian. He was the first lay chaplain in Ontario and the driving force behind this congregation in its earliest years. He arranged for guest speakers, often led services himself, provided accompaniment on the piano, put together the orders of service, and wrote the newsletters. Many of his reminiscences about this congregation's early days are collected in the book Spirit of Life, A Brief History of the First 50 Years, edited by Susan D. Foltz. And this book is available in our GRU library, and it's also posted on our website. Bob wrote this: a snapshot of Waterloo in 1956. In 1956, there was no Unitarian fellowship in this community. There was no place where a person whose religious views tended to be untraditional could go and express themselves frankly, freely, and continue to be accepted. There were no universities, though there were a couple of church colleges with fewer than 200 students each. There were no cocktail bars, coffee shops, very few boutiques, far fewer bookstores and record stores. There wasn't a movie open on Sunday, and there was an even poorer choice of movies at other times than we have now. He's speaking in 1981. There were almost no high-rise apartment buildings, and the ones that were stopped at 6 stories. There was a blacksmith shop and a cider press and a flour mill in town, right on or close to the main street. There were lots of people at the Dutchman hockey games on Saturday nights and in the church pews on Sunday mornings. By and large, it was a clean, well-run community. Well, I could go on about what was here and what wasn't, but what we did have was 3 Unitarians. I had first heard of Unitarianism when a young woman said to me one day, rather deprecatingly, "Oh, you'd like the Unitarians. They believe in free love." Then one day, I happened to mention Unitarianism to my mother, and she spoke quite highly of them because she once had a neighbor who went to the Unitarian congregation on St. Clair Avenue in Toronto. And she thought they must be pretty impressive people because, in her words, he was quite an intellectual. Well, the concept of a group of intellectuals who also believed in free love was intriguing, to say the least. And I thought I'd find out more about it. Bob was a media relations pioneer at University of Waterloo, credited with putting UW on the map in its first 25 years, and so he put his considerable professional skills to work drumming up support to establish a Unitarian congregation in Kitchener-Waterloo. In our congregational newsletter, Volume 1, Number 1, dated November 9th, 1956, Bob described the mission of Unitarian Universalism. Quote, "We seek and receive the truth, both old and new, believing that a living religion must change as thought advances." Now, Bob would be the first to remind us that for all the credit we give him for the founding, no congregation's success is possible without the shared commitment of many people in covenant. A small group convened for the first meeting of this congregation at the Smithson School gym on the evening of November 18, 1956, 69 years ago. In its early years, the congregation led a vagrant existence, meeting in various rented spaces about town, some of which weren't particularly inviting. But our founding members held an ambitious vision. Bob wrote, "One day, fairly early in 1957, as I recall, we thought it would be a good idea to find out what usually happened in a Unitarian service. And we suspended our own meeting for the Sunday and drove down to Toronto to attend the services at First Congregation. It was very impressive. The building was beautiful. The music was lovely. We looked forward to the day when we might have a building of our own and a minister of our own. It was very inspiring." Within that first decade, this congregation had purchased a building of its own on Allen Street in Waterloo. The second decade was a time of recommitment and recovery after a difficult time when this once thriving congregation nearly closed for lack of attendance. But recover it did. And by our 30th anniversary, the congregation called its first in a series of part-time ministers: David Herndon, Carl and Maureen Titchener, Beryl Bayless. In its fourth decade, the congregation settled into a new, bigger home on Dunbar Road. And in its fifth decade, the congregation called Ann Treadwell, who became our first full-time settled minister, now our congregation's minister emerita. Over Ann's 7-year tenure here, the congregation completed the formal certification process to be designated a welcoming congregation to the LGBTQ+ community. Membership climbed from 68 members to 105, earning congratulations from the Canadian Unitarian Council. In her characteristic modesty, Rev. Ann responded, "I'm strongly convinced that the biggest factor in growth and giving is the simple enthusiasm and caring of the members, leaders, and minister. If you love your congregation and can convey that caring to each other and to people you meet, you won't need strategies for growth. It will happen." When Reverend Treadwell retired at the end of 2004, this congregation faced a difficult 3-year interim period. Against all odds, the congregation continued to grow in membership, in spirit, and in resolve, and purchased this building where we moved in late 2007. A photograph commemorating that first Sunday morning in this building is displayed in our downstairs foyer. Just a few months later, on a snowy February weekend, I stood in the choir loft here with members of the search committee, the team entrusted with finding a suitable minister as a candidate to present to the congregation for a vote. And yes, members, vote for your minister, for your settled ministers. I met the whole congregation that April. I estimate I met about a third of people for the first time at the pub, at the Hoother, thanks to Larry. And I accepted the call to the vote as Stephen Priest played and everyone serenaded me singing, "Consider Yourself at Home." Though my intention always had been to find a long-term settlement in ministry, I don't know that I could have imagined I'd still be standing here, truly at home, starting year 18 with you. Thank you. I do not promise 18 more. During my tenure, I've continued to nurture and witness more bold decisions by this community. Numerous refugee resettlements, we're voting on another one in February, restructuring teams, shifting staff and volunteer patterns, always holding as a priority the awareness of the changing needs of our congregation and its role in the community at large. Within these walls, we added the elevator and the wide stairwell, expanded the classrooms, created a dedicated office space, upgraded the furniture, refurbished the teen rooms, and refreshed this sanctuary, replaced the water fountain, improved the washrooms, beautified the nursery, and improved accessibilities. In just the past year, we've invested in much-needed repairs to the parking lot, the aging entry doors, replaced the front door. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I'm forgetting some things. What impressed me from the start, standing up there in that choir loft, and what has been proven true again and again, is the courage and commitment of this congregation to boldly and bravely address changing times and tides of needs in history. We've stayed relevant, healthy, and vibrant, considered a model congregation among Canadian Unitarians, in large part because of the willingness of our members and leaders to proactively prepare a place for people who aren't here yet, but whom we hope to welcome. We honor the past, build in the present, and prepare for the future by investing in the health and vitality to ensure our well-being for generations to come. I was honored to know Bob Whitten, who attended every Sunday here as long as he could manage to travel. He always sat in that pew toward the back left, right where you are, Greg. I'd always look up and see Bob. And he remained an unwavering supporter of the growth and vibrancy, all the changes he could not have imagined in 1956 for this congregation. After his death in 2016, the congregation named our downstairs fellowship hall in his memory, Whitten Hall. Some of you may remember that joyous Sunday where his family joined us to commemorate him during a Sunday service. Oh, we had grand plans for this dedication day with all the new furniture and decor and the unveiling of our newly renovated classroom space downstairs. And of course, those plans were thwarted because the classroom renovations did not go as planned, shocking. And the long delay caused chaos for months. But we knew that of all people, Bob Whitten would have smiled knowingly that the hoped-for glittering fellowship hall we'd hoped to unveil that morning was instead cluttered with construction dust, sheets of plastic, and a mess of displaced classroom supplies. Somehow the chaos caused by yet another expansion of this community felt like a weirdly appropriate tribute for Bob. After all, his dearly held hope for the congregation he founded was that our work would never be done. And indeed, our work continues. I know it may seem odd, this decision to honor a 69th anniversary, because we do so love our multiples of 5s and 10s as more significant. But I want us today to be thinking about what we will be celebrating next year at our 70th and further ahead, 75th, our 100th. I was going to say centenary, but I can't really pronounce it. Today, during coffee hour with Timbits, thanks to Becky, our board is asking for your input. They have a short presentation and will encourage you to engage in a discernment exercise to determine what your priorities are for the next capital improvements to our building, what investments we want to make in the coming year to best position this congregation for the future, We hope everyone, whether this is your first time or your 1000th time, will join us. But if you really want to opt out, you can spread out in the classrooms. They are available for your use. Bob Whitten reminisced on those tumultuous early days. He wrote, "I would say that by and large, we got along. We didn't flourish as we have been doing recently, not remotely, but we kept going. We have subsequently experienced all kinds of ups and downs, moments of great hope and moments of considerable discouragement. But everything hung together somehow. And finally, we must have passed some kind of threshold. I think we achieved a critical mass, if you will, of leadership, talents, and numbers. Oh, we have continued to have problems ever since, but we have also continued to make a fair amount of progress. We are a congregation." Thank you, Bob. Will you please rise and join me in hymn number 1 in the gray hymnals? The original title of this is Prayer for This House. Congregation's 50th anniversary, Bob wrote, "It's good to be able to even consider the challenges ahead, especially when I think back to our very modest, downright shaky beginnings. I feel fortunate to have come to know so many thoroughly admirable people here. I am sure I have benefited in many ways. This doesn't mean everything is perfect. Surely we still all have many serious problems ahead of us, but we also have reason for some amount of confidence in our ability to cope successfully with future problems. As Phil Harris, the old dance band leader of the 30s, used to say, 'Folks, you ain't seen nothing yet.'" let the people say,